Yo guys, what is up? This is Sadid here, and today I'm going to be talking about the PS5 and its 6 year or almost 6 year review. And sorry I haven't been uploading to a lot of videos lately. I just been busy with work and busy with other things. But I promise you guys, there's going to be some new uploads, new videos, and as much as I can to post and stuff like that. So today we're going to be talking about the PS5 and its almost 6 year review. Now I had the PS5 for about 5 years now, and I have been using it since then. The first time I ever got my PS5 was during my college graduation. When I graduated college 5 years ago, that's when I got my hands on a PS5 and started playing it as well. And before that happened, I was actually trying to get my hands on it, but due to the pandemic, from 5 years ago, it was hard to get because chip shortages, COVID, all that stuff, lockdowns. So it was really hard to get your hands on one back then. The only thing I would criticize about the PS5 was its launch. It had a disastrous launch. I don't know if you guys remember when you guys were trying to get your hands on it. Scalpers were big back then, back in the days when, they would sell their PS5s, for a higher price, more than retail because it was in resale at the time. Or back in the days, there was a lot of chip shortages. So you had to kind of just play a guessing game with stores to see when the PS5 come out. I really was annoyed by it because first things first, it's a new console, so I want to be able to have it at home and get it easily. Back then, when you got a PS4, when the PS4 first launched, I didn't even have a PS4 back then, but just bear with me. When you got a PS4 back then, it was easier to get your hands on one. It was easier to get the games, easier to get all the stuff that you want to play on. So it was, accessible at the time to get. You didn't have to go through some, bullshit like waiting list or some sort of lottery ticket to win one, which was ridiculous, right? PS4s, you just go to the store, you grab it, you buy it, and that's it, right? With PS5, when it first launched, I was very disappointed. I mean, don't get me wrong, the games are amazing and all that stuff, but the one thing I just didn't like was the launch. Like when I first before I graduated college and before I actually got my hands on the PS5, I remember it was coming. It came out on November 15th, right? And it was like one of the most anticipated, console launches. Everybody had their hands on one. Everybody played on one, and I wanted to get one so bad. Like I remember waiting in line. Nope, sorry, I didn't get it. Waiting in line. Nope, sorry, I didn't get it. All that stuff, right? It was just sad because number one, I was excited for the games. I just wanted to have it in my room and play it and all that stuff. And it's just great that I wanted it, But all my friends had it and they got it easily, which was just ridiculous that I had to wait for that. And then eventually with my dad, he got it for me. I don't know. He got it at Walmart. He got it for pretty cheap in retail for about $621 when resale value that the scalpers were selling was about $1,000, which is ridiculous. Um, and again, this was during my college graduation when I got it. I was so happy I got it, so thankful I got it. I played so many games on it. I even bought a lot of launch titles like Call of Duty, um, you know, like other games that came for the PS5, and I was very excited to play on it. I played the ever loving shit out of it. Every game, every exclusive, and there you go. That was literally what I played on for the PS5. Later on, I know that it's been getting a lot of brand recognition and all that stuff for people buying it, and the problem is that since the PS5 has been out, nobody got their hands on it during its launch, and the PS6 is coming out soon, I think. So it doesn't make sense for Sony to make a new console and Sony to release it or tell the things about it when literally they need to sell the PS5 because nobody got their hands on the PS5 back then. And then probably the PS6 would probably be $1,200, for at launch, which it makes sense because of inflation and all that stuff. It's going to cost more. And honestly, I really think Sony just dropped the ball by releasing the PS5 on on COVID, which was so dumb because I think it should it should have been released after it was basically I think it should have launched or released after the lockdown was finished, but they did something stupid, which is releasing it during the pandemic, which is to me such a stupid and the dumbest thing in the whole world. if I was, Sony or the CEO of Sony, I would have just been like, you know what? Let's wait until, the pandemic kind of dies down. And the lockdown's been, finished and, at least, uh, you know, done or whatever. And then I can release the PS5 easily. I just want to do something stupid like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and release the PS5 during COVID, which was such a stupid idea because nobody got their hands on it. And honestly, it's just pretty dumb. It's like the same thing, right? It's like when the Xbox Series X came out. It did the same thing, but the difference is that the Xbox Series X is not as popular compared to the PS5. Considering that the PS5 has so much brand recognition and so much exclusives that it has to offer for. That is just in my opinion. What I think the PS5 should have launched. I don't know what you guys think, but drop your comments below. What could have been better for the PS5 or should have been launched at a later date. Drop it down below. But if you guys like the video, like and subscribe and turn your notifications on.